Hello guys, in this video I'll show you how you can reset the position of the cloud models so that when the cloud models move out of the camera's view, they again reset back to their original position. Now for resetting the cloud model's position, I'll first activate the cloud objects. So I'll select it and I'll check the checkbox of the cloud objects. After this, while working with the cloud models, I'll deactivate the Super Spitfire aeroplane model and the Vol 1. So I'll select Super Spitfire, I'll select Vol 1 and I'll deactivate both of them. Next, as I've done in the previous video, I'll create a new cube game object, which is a child of the aeroplane image target. I'll reduce the X scale of it so that it appears as a wall. After this, I'll position this wall on the opposite side of the cloud models. I'll move this on top. So basically when the cloud models collide with this cloud wall, so during that time we will reset the cloud objects. Okay. I'll rename this second cube to wall 2. After this, as I've explained in the previous video, for two game objects to collide with each other, both the game objects should have collider attached to them. So to the cloud objects, I'll add a collider. But before that, with the wall 2 selected, I'll check the is trigger option. Next, if I select wall 2 and if I uncheck mesh renderer, then to this wall as well, you can see that the box collider is attached. So I'll check mesh renderer again. After this, I'll select cloud 1. And if you remember, the cloud 1 is basically an empty game object. Okay. And that's why this object doesn't contain any colliders. So to add a collider to this cloud object with the cloud object selected, I'll click on add component. After this, I'll add the box collider to it. So I'll select box collider. So the box collider is attached to the cloud object and it is occupying all the clouds inside it. Now before customizing this box collider, let me share one small thing. So I'll activate the Super Spitfire model first. I'll move this cube out of the scene view. I'll select cloud objects and I'll select the Super Spitfire model. Okay. So basically the thing which I want to share with you over here is that since the clouds and the aeroplanes will be approaching each other, so that's why we have to make sure that the colliders of both these game objects, that is the aeroplane and the cloud, do not collide with each other. If that happens, then both the clouds and the aeroplanes will get stuck midway and they will not move ahead. So that's why I'll suggest you to position the collider of the cloud either on the top or below the collider of an aeroplane model. So currently in my case, if I leave the collider of the cloud objects to as it is, then definitely the colliders of both the aeroplane and the cloud will collide with each other and both of them will get stuck midway. Okay. Now this is the output which we don't want. Okay. Or I specifically don't want. So that's why I'll select the cloud object and I'll reduce its Y scale. So with the cloud object selected, I'll shrink down its Y scale. Okay. And if I move the aeroplane model closer to the cloud object, and if I select both of them, then you can see that the colliders of the cloud and the Super Spitfire aeroplane model are at the same y-axis. So that's why with the cloud object selected, I'll move its collider down so that the collider of the aeroplane and the clouds do not hit each other. I'll also move the aeroplane a little bit on top. Okay. So this time if I select both the objects, then now you can definitely see the difference. That is, the collider of the cloud object is below the collider of my aeroplane model. Okay. So after making this change, next I'll move the Super Spitfire back to its original position. After this, I'll deactivate it. Next, I'll bring wall 1 back inside the scene view. And this time I'll select cloud objects again, and to the cloud objects, I'll add another component, which is the rigid body. So I'll click on add component and I'll attach rigid body to it. I'll uncheck is gravity so that the clouds don't fall down because of gravity. After adding the rigid body, next I'll select wall 2, and to wall 2, I'll attach a tag by the name of cloud wall. So I'll click on this tag drop down. I'll then go inside add tag. After this, I'll click on the plus sign. I'll give wall 2 a tag of cloud wall. I'll hit save. Next, I'll select wall 2 again. I'll click on the tag drop down and I'll select the cloud wall. Okay. So after making this change, I'll open the reset position script and I'll write the program for resetting the position of the cloud objects. So I'll open the script, and inside the script, I'll just add another if condition to check the tag of the cloud wall. Okay. So below this if condition, I'll write down if other dot game object dot compare tag. I'll open and close round brackets, and inside double quotes, I'll write down the tag name of a wall 2, which is cloud wall. So inside this, I'll write down cloud wall. So if a cloud object collides with the cloud wall, then I'll reset the position of the cloud object. So inside this, I'll again write down transform dot local position equal to original position. Okay, so I've finished with the code. So next I have to attach this reset position script also to a cloud objects. So with the cloud object selected, I'll click on add component. Next, since the script name was reset position, so I'll write down reset and I'll attach the reset position script also to the cloud wall. So let me explain you this code once again with reference to the cloud objects. Okay. So basically when the application starts, so during that time using transform.localPosition, we are finding out the local position of the cloud object. So in this case, it is x minus 0.982, y 0.459 and z 0.0951. Okay. So these values of x, y and z will be transferred inside this original pos vector3 variable with the help of this particular code. Next, the clouds will start moving, and after a certain point, they will collide with wall 2. Okay, and as they collide with wall 2, since wall 2 is a triggered object, okay, as we have activated the isTrigger option. So as I was saying, since wall 2 is a triggered object, so that's why the onTriggerEnter function will be called, and the properties of wall 2 will be stored inside this other collider variable. So from this onTriggerEnter function, this first if condition will check if the object with which, or if the game object with which a cloud objects have collided have a tag of aeroplane wall or not. Now since this wall 2 has a tag of cloud wall, so that's why this if condition will not execute. After this, as you can see, we have this second if condition. Okay, and inside this second if condition, we are checking whether the game object with which a cloud has collided has a tag of cloud wall or not. Now since this game object has a tag of cloud wall, so this if condition will be satisfied, and as the cloud objects collide with the cloud wall, we are resetting the clouds back to their original position with the help of this code, that is transform.localPosition equal to original pos. Okay, so I've basically finished with the code. Now before testing the output, I'll just make one small change. Now instead of if, I'll just convert this to else if. So now this entire statement has become if else statement. So after making this change, next I'll minimize the coding editor. Next, for testing the output, I'll click on the play button. Okay, so the aeroplane is still visible because I haven't deactivated the aeroplane from the onTargetFound function. So I'll go inside aeroplane image target, and from onTargetFound function, I'll deactivate the Super Spitfire aeroplane. After this, I'll check the output again. Okay, yes, so the clouds are still not visible because I have deactivated the clouds from inside the onTargetFound function in the previous video. So guys, please make sure that before testing the output, you select the aeroplane image target and activate the cloud objects from inside the onTargetFound function. So I'll just activate it. I'll click on the play button this time. So the clouds have become activated, and as soon as they collide with this cloud wall, they will reset back to their original position. So as we just noticed, as soon as the clouds collided with the cloud wall, they reset back to the original position. So we'll check the output once again. Okay, so the clouds resetted back to the original position. So next I'll come out of play mode, and after this I'll make this wall also transparent. So to do this, I'll just drag this transparent material on top of wall 2. So wall 2 has also become transparent. So now let's test the output again. So wall 2 is somewhere over here. And as soon as the clouds collide with wall 2, they will reset back to their original position. So the clouds have resetted back. Okay, so I'll come out of play mode. And this time I'll check the complete output with the aeroplane and wall 1, which is the aeroplane wall as well. So I'll select the Super Spitfire model, I'll select wall 1 and I'll activate both of them. After this, I'll go inside aeroplane image target and I'll activate the Super Spitfire aeroplane model from inside the onTargetFound function. Okay. So this time I'll check the final output. Okay, but before that, I just realized that the wall 1 is a little more on the outer side, so I'll just bring this a little on the inner side. After this, I'll click on the play button again. So the aeroplane and the clouds both have started moving. Now the aeroplane just resetted back to its original position after colliding with the aeroplane wall, and the clouds soon after resetted back to their original position as soon as they collided with the cloud wall. So guys, after resetting the aeroplane and the clouds position, I'll end this video over here and I'll see you in the next video.